Hey guys, welcome to this new episode of The Mind of Reese. We get down and dirty into some money, how to price your tattoos and artwork. But before we get into that, I do want to give you a couple of updates. My newest program booked out a masterclass, a workshop on launching. It's basically the ultimate money making workshop for tattoo artists and creatives. All are welcome. It's basically for the artist who not only wants to fill their books with soulmate clients, captivating storytelling and messaging for the highest conversion, creating urgency, building waitlist early bird launches. It's creating like long-term growth and sustainability. It's really a course all around money energetics, my philosophy around money, how we can remove the limiting beliefs around our money and about making money, and then the strategies on how I have the best launches ever, where it's traveling, where I'm booking out within a couple of hours for all of my travels, whether I'm going to Tennessee, Florida, Belgium, all of these places outside of where I am, to making $20,000 to $25,000 launches in less than 24 hours through my books at home, how I do the thing, how we price. We'll talk about other money outlets, how we make more money, how we can create more income, more passive income, these kinds of things. If you are in, this is the last week to get in on it. Click the link in the bio, be one of the ones, have a seat at the table. Let's get this party started. Everything you thought and want to talk about, the best thing I love talking about is money. So fun, because I love making money, and I think money is wonderful. It definitely just, money in the hands of good people. That's where it's at. So this is where it's at. Said that already, but go ahead and click the link in the bio. Do that. I also have my early bird open for Inspired Academy. Now, Inspired Academy is my foundational business course for tattoo artists. This program is to help you create longevity, sustainable growth through social media, and really my 4-part process of clarity, attraction, conversion, and automation. And lastly, we'll not forget, is mindset. So these 4-part framework on how to create a really sustainable business, thriving business. Doesn't matter where you are. You could be a beginner, you could be a working artist of 10 years, 20 years. It doesn't matter. If you are looking to create some sustainability, strategy, and structure within your business that really allows you to level up your success in a way that feels really balanced and good, and also keeps you thriving, this is the course for you. And right now, if you get in before booked out starts, which starts on Monday, you will get booked out for free. You will get booked out for free if you start today. So I believe you'll have like a good 5 days before this offer is over. So you're definitely going to want to get in on it. You start early bird for Inspired, you get booked out for free. I am so excited. Also, last but not least, I do have a few VIP openings that I would love to just throw out there into the universe. I am still waiting for my soulmate VIPers. These are for the people that are ready to take their business to another level, really create the tattoo empire that they desire, go from 6 figures beyond. So we're trying to make over $100,000 and more, whether you want to get into education, opening up your shop, restructure the shop you currently have, and everything else. I want to do life and business with you. It's you, me, and the universe. This is a one-on-one program. This is my most intimate container within my coaching programs. I am ready. If you are ready, let's spend the next 6 months together. I cannot wait. All right, now let's get into this episode about pricing our tattoos and artwork. Love you guys. Let me know if you love it. Guys, welcome back to another episode of The Mind of Reese. Today, we are going to get into how to price your tattoos and your artwork. So I actually had a post earlier this week on my Instagram talking about this, and it got a lot of attention, so I really wanted to dive deeper here in the podcast, because that's what we get to do. We get to do life and business together here, and I really enjoy doing it. So when it comes to pricing your tattoos, I just want to start off first and foremost. It's like what I notice in most industries is that money is so faux pas to talk about. You're not allowed to talk about money. We really want money, but we also demonize money. We also have this sense of like, oh, we can't talk about money. And I really want it, but I also hate it because I never can make enough of it. Excuse me. And so when we look at money like that, what do you think the kind of energy we are putting off? When we send this energy out to the universe basically hears there's an aversion around money. Then what you're going to perpetuate is lack of money in your life. So when we're looking at it from a manifestation standpoint, we really have to clean up our energy around money. And the reason why I am incredibly transparent about how much money I make and what I charge and the thing is, one, I really just want to inspire you on what's possible for you. I don't want you to go around thinking whatever the quote unquote industry norm is and cap yourself off based off of that non-existent boundary that we put upon ourselves on the amount of money that we can make in this industry for our artwork. Or that it has to be incredibly linear where, oh, well, year 1, I got to charge this. Year 2, I charge this. Year 3, year 4, year 5. That just seems very linear and sounds like a very long way to go about to get to where you want to go. And when I think about it that way, I'm like, no, I only have this very short human existence. How do I collapse time between the type of money I'm making now and the type of money I really want to make? Now, so there are 2 ways that we actually charge our price, like where we basically make decisions around our pricing. It's 1 is emotional pricing, and 2, it's practical pricing. Now, emotional pricing is based off of what you believe you're worthy of. So emotional pricing is a tough one because if you don't think very highly of yourself, your income is going to reflect that. If you think the world of yourself, your income is going to reflect that. And so when we think about emotional pricing, again, we really have to clean up our energy around money. Because if we're putting energy out there that's saying, ugh, money is icky, but I want it and I don't have enough of it, this is the kind of like wanting, chasing, yucky energy. And the only thing that your subconscious hears, the universe hears, is, I don't really like money. I just want it really badly, but it really pisses me off that I don't have it. So it's like, okay, if that's the way I'm going to talk about that, what if I talked about like my best friend like that? Like, I really love her, but I also fucking hate her and I don't want to talk to her, but I do want her in my life. Like, you got to look at it like that. It's like, can I date my money? Can I just treat my money like the love of my life and be super thankful for it and be super grateful for it? Like, I would treat my money like I treat my dog. Like, I love my dog, and I would shower him with kisses and love, it's like this. So we have to really clean up our energy around money, especially because in our industry, or as entrepreneurs, really, we base our money based off of emotions, what we believe we are worthy of. Now, on the second end, there's practicality. We believe that we base our money, or we base our pricing around what we think everybody believes we are worthy of and or industry norms. So when I base my pricing of everything outside of me, what everybody else thinks, it's basically basing my pricing based off the beliefs that they have about themselves. So if I'm in a shop and I am listening to what everybody else has to say about how much money I should be making or I should be charging, then I'm basing my pricing based on what they believe they're worthy of, not what they believe I'm worth. And that could be stacked with a lot of money mindset blockages, a lot of money mindset blocks, limitations, and beliefs that does not serve anybody on this planet. And unless you're putting yourself in a room surrounded by people that believe that they are absolutely limitless potential, and have limitless potential, then you're going to hit a cap. You're going to hit a ceiling of the amount of money you believe you're worth based off what other people think, based off the city you live in, based off the state you live in, based off the amount of people, the small town, quote unquote, if you want to go listen to that episode on does small town affect my money? I will just in part say no, it doesn't. That's a limiting belief for sure. We do not have social media for no reason. Social media is a ginormous free platform to be able to shine your light on everybody. But that's a whole other story. So if you want to go listen to that, go listen to that. So we got to think about, where am I basing my money? If it's on emotional, where do I need to clean up my money mindset? Where do I need to clean up my energy around money? Because I want to desire more money. I also want to have money transparency. I want to share the wealth. I want everybody to know that this is possible for them. I could give a shit how much money you think. Like, I think it's really funny when people are like, I'll talk about money online and people are like, oh, that's a weird flex. Or it's like, oh, why are you always talking about how much money you make? Are you gloating? And I'm like, no, who cares how much money I make? It's like, here I am showing you what is possible for you. And I'm also here as a spiritual tattoo business coach, mentor, to shine a light on what's possible for you, but also to share with you my own ways and beliefs around it. So when I'm talking about how to price your tattoos or your hourly wage or however you decide to do it, take whatever it is that you feel is necessary for you and leave what's not. Like, this is not a one-stop shop. That's the best part about being an entrepreneur. You can do business however you see fit. The only thing I care about is that your mindset is so limitless in belief about what you are capable of, that you go out there and you experiment and have fun and not really even fail, but just like, oh, money went down this month, but who cares? I know it's coming back to me. And then it does. And it's like a constant roller coaster. There is no certainty in entrepreneurship. There's no certainty in life. The only certainty you're ever going to have is that there's always going to be fear around something that you're uncomfortable with. But entrepreneurship is literally saying, hell yeah, I am totally in for the uncomfy ride, that there's no predictability in business. And as much as we'd like to think that we could put safety in our business because we have and we're working every day. Yes, I mean, that's our normal. Like, we went from not working ever to having a lot of fear to now working maybe 3 days a week, or to some of us, we're working 6 or 5 days a week and we're making good money. And that feels like safety, quote unquote. But it's not, because we could have a pandemic, right? The pandemic told us that right away. We canceled all of our appointments, some of us did. And so it's like, how it's really about starting off with what your energy is around money, cleaning up that energy, and then going from there and creating a pricing through a strategy or structure. You can take mine, you can take whatever. And so this is where I want you to push yourself toward the type of embodied leader you need to be in order to truly stand in your power as a worthy, wealthy creative. And that's what I'm here for. Okay, so next, I just do want to preface that you don't need to be a super experienced tattoo artist with a shit ton of followers in order to make really good money. That is such a thing of the past. People think more followers equals more dollars. That is the last thing. The reason why I know this is because, as a person that does base herself around practicality, my new normal, quote unquote, my new normal stands with the people that I surround myself with, who are all limitless mindset leaders. They are embodied believers of their limitless potential. And when I am surrounding myself around them, the new normal in my mind is, hell yeah, I can make $100,000 in a tattoo apprenticeship program. Hell yeah, I can charge, $3,000 a day for my tattoos. Hell yeah. Like, if I was put into a room around people that are like, I love where I started, and there is nothing wrong with anywhere you start. But if I choose to believe what everybody else believes around me, like in my first shop, they were like, oh no, you don't want to charge more than that. Like, we want everybody to get tattooed. And I believe that. I'm like, I want everybody to get tattooed too. But I also believe that people will save or do the thing in order to get tattooed by the person they believe they want to get tattooed by. And that's a real thing. And so for me, I tattoo the most incredible people, and they're in their healing journey. They are a perfect match to me. I feel like I'm never working a day. I don't even know where 10 hours goes in a day, because I'm with someone that is such a soulmate client, and then so happy to pay me my prices without blinking an eye and tip me to boot. And so this is where I remember the times when when I would ask people for money and they would be like, oh God, I wasn't expecting that. Or, can I pay you on a credit card? Or, oh shit, I didn't bring enough. Or, all of these things and all of these like narratives that they say that basically perpetuate the belief that you aren't worthy of the thing of the thing you want. And so that's the reason why it's so important to clean your money mindset up. It's to clean your energy around money. Because whatever energy you're putting out, whatever you're focused on, your thoughts, your beliefs, that's what creates your reality. And when you're going to perpetuate more people that will basically validate your beliefs. So the more you focus on the lack thereof, you will perpetuate validation in the outside world that to further stand in that belief. And so when you look at life like that, you're like, holy fuck, all I'm doing is perpetuating more of what it is I'm putting my focus and attention on. And so when we think about money, how is it that I'm like, yeah, I'm making this, but I desire to make this? Now, how sexy does that sound? It's like, ooh, it's like sensual. It's like, I desire this. It's not that I want it because I don't need it. I'm happy with what I've got, but I desire more. And if you are in a position where you're like, oh, well, I'm a first year, my desire is to make this, then since your focus is on that desire, the universe looks at it as like, oh, yeah, she's worthy of that because she desires it. So let me create the pathways and let me perpetuate validation outside of her that it is possible, or outside of him that it is possible. We're going to validate the things that we believe, and we're going to stand even firmer in that belief because we receive the validation outside of us. Now, this is where we gotta be really, really clear on creating safety within us, because we're not going to take action in the desirable way, in the desirable path, because it will always be the unknown path. Anytime we up level in our money, in our mindset, it's an unknown path. And if you cannot hold yourself in your own safety without you can't handhold, nobody's going to hold your hand outside of you. You have to create safety within yourself to know that if you take that path, and although it's unknown, you are going to get to where you want to go, even if it's crunchy, painful, weird, hard, uncomfortable, all of the things. And that's how you up level. It is going to be extremely uncomfortable to raise your prices, especially when you're like, holy fuck, will all of my clients be okay with this? Will this, that? And you have all these fear thoughts because your ego is trying to keep you in the comfortable. So when we decide we're going to do something, we do it. And guess what? Yes, it's going to be hard. And yes, it's going to be crunchy, but it will be liberating, because it only takes one person to say yes to validate that you can make that much money. Now, let me give you an example. I was charging, $3.99 for my foundational business course called Inspired Academy. And this course, I put my whole heart and soul in. And I finally got into a room, practical pricing. Here's one. Emotional pricing, that's one. I was charging $3.99, so that's one. I was like, oh, that's all I'm worthy of. That's what people around me are charging. Social media world, it's like hacks, tricks, and tips kind of world of social media, because there's different levels of coaching in this business. Yes, you can find coaching programs for $29, and you can find coaching programs for $30,000. And so it's like there's price points for everybody. Now, I had only invested in a $299 course, And I was like, okay, well, if they're charging this, it's like about how much I should charge. And then I decided to get into a room with a different person and saw the limitless potential. And she pushed me. She made me feel something edgy. I was very scared to put my course at $2,222. After she went through it, she's like, Reese, this is gold mine. You're basically giving someone a foundational, sustainable course, a business program, because I was calling it a social media program. It's a business program that offers all tattooers for any shape and size, doesn't matter where you are in your career, a way to really keep it sustainable and the best mindset. It's all foundational. It's the best course. Honestly, I put my whole heart and soul into the thing, and it is open. We are open for early birds, so if you'd like to get in on that, shameless plug. If you'd like to get in on that, click on the show notes. But I went up to 222, and that scared the fuck out of me because I was like, who's gonna go and pay me $2,222? I only needed one person to believe it, which was my mentor, Practical. So here's the practical side of it. I got into a room where someone believed that they were limitless, where someone was like, nope, this is worth more. And that's what I did. And so when I did it, it took one person. And the first person that bought it, I was like, oh my gosh, holy shit. And then a second person, and then a third person, and then 45 people later bought it that round, that launch season. I was like, oh my God, I just made an $85,000 launch. That was an $85,000 launch. And I think because I do payment plans, so I think just in that time span of like 3 to 4 weeks, I had made, I don't know, like I believe anywhere from 15 to 20 grand at the time. And so I was like, holy shit, that was crazy, because that not only was it way more people than have ever signed up at one time, but it was also like 2 to 3 times more, like 4 times the amount it was prior. And all I needed was that one time someone say yes to me, to know, to up level my energy and worthiness. So it was really scary. I had to hold myself in that fear, but I had someone holding me accountable, so I wasn't going to let them down, nor was I going to let myself down, because I was like, hey, if it doesn't work, then it doesn't fucking work. Like, who cares? I was just starting where I'm just right back where I am. I'm not anywhere less. Like, there's nowhere to go but up. That's how I see it. Except I put my whole heart and soul into it. And because if it didn't work out the way it did, nobody bought it, then I would just have to move and see myself through that. And that's what the universe believed that I needed to move through. But no, the universe was like, no, we're going to show you that you have limitless potential. Now, next launch that happened, I only had 15 people sign up. And it taught me a huge lesson, because I was like, oh, there'd be more people to sign up if I do it again. And it didn't. It actually was like way less than half. And I realized then the one thing that taught me was that it's all compounded. It's all compounded. It's not this launch compared to this launch. It's like this launch added to this launch. That means I've helped 45 people plus 15 people. So I've helped 60 people in 1 year grow their business. That's how we look at it. And so money is compounded money. It's not just like, oh, and so my mindset started to change around money. I was like, well, fuck it. I'm going to do the thing. I'm going to see if I can raise my prices. I raised my prices just recently. I went from $275 to $300, $500 deposit per day that you're with me. And yeah, and we book people 2 days in a row. I was a little nervous to go straight to 300 when you still have a 2 in front of your number. Even though it was 275, it was only $25 away from 300. It still felt like, okay, it still felt good. But 300 was edgy. I was like, oh, that's edgy. That feels really edgy. It's scary. It's in a whole other hundo realm. It's in a 300 realm. Is anybody going to sign up? Oh my God. We had an amazing turnout. The best tattoos. I literally was just looking through all the tattoos I've just done in January alone, and I was like, holy shit. And this month I'm aiming to make like 25 grand, and working 3 days a week. So Yeah. Like, I mean, really crazy numbers because I knew how to walk myself through it. I up leveled the energy around my money, and I put myself in a room around people that have limitless potential. And these are the differences that you can make. Now, whatever you're making now, there is no shame in that. Be fucking grateful. I was grateful for every dollar. I've had 0 launch days. I've had days where people cancel all the time and I'm like, ah, shit. Or, well, you know, one of these things. And I'm just like, okay, how do I walk myself through this? All right. So I do want to preface that, like, I'm giving you all of this as inspiration, but wherever you are is perfectly perfect for where you're meant to be. You are meant to be where you are. But this is to inspire you to up level in the 3 things, right? Our energy around money, the worth that we believe are worthy of, your emotional pricing, and then the practicality, getting in a room around people that believe in their limitless potential, because that shit rubs off. And then having someone holding you accountable too, which is really amazing. That's why I totally believe in long-term mentorship. I love my VIP clients. I love having people in the space really ready to just fucking full send it, because they know that I'm here to help them and also here to hold them accountable for the things that they promise themselves. That's huge. We all need that in our life. Otherwise, we go in linear. We have linear up leveling. It's very slow. You'll get there, but it'll take a lot of backbreaking work. You're like, yeah, I want to make $3,000 a month, but if I'm only making $200 a day, that means I got to work 6 days a week doing however many hour tattoos, also paying my shop out 50, 40, 30%, and trying to make a certain amount of money in order to get there. So it's like, or I could raise my prices and do the thing. You know, it's like we stay where we're comfortable. Yes, you'll get there. You probably will get there. It may take you longer to get there. And I promise you, being in this industry for almost 11 years, I had a very interesting career. And even though I was on TV, didn't mean I made more money. Yeah, I might have made like pretty good money, but I remember the years where it was like 7 years and I was still making like 3 to 7 grand a month. 7 years later. And now I'm, 8, 9, 10, 11 years, I really up leveled in my mindset. I really did a lot of healing work. I spent a lot of time in rooms with people that were really up leveled, especially in this last year in 2022. And so, oh my God, I quantum leaped. It was like I was here and then all of a sudden I went up there and it was just a total difference. It was like a what the fuck kind of difference. Like, how did this even happen kind of difference? And that's the kind of potential I want all of you to have. I want you to see that limitlessness. It's like, you're not going to have to take 11 years like it took me. I want you to do it in 2 to 3. And I've seen people do it. I've had my own apprentices do it. They've surpassed my year 7 in their year 3 or year 2. And so I know that this stuff works, because I see it with my own eyes. And so I want to just remind you that it doesn't matter. You don't have to be a super experienced tattooer. Okay, you're just an intentional tattoo artist. Intentional is a huge aspect that you definitely need. And you don't need a shit ton of followers, because followers don't equal dollars. Again, I have a coach who at the time only had 3,000 followers and she was making $3 million a year. And I was just like, that literally blew all of my beliefs out of the water. She would get 200 likes on her posts, and she only used Instagram. She didn't use TikTok. She didn't have a YouTube. She had a podcast that she posted on sporadically. She had a Facebook group page. $3 million this woman makes, and more now these days. And so it was like that bashed the limiting beliefs of me being like, I need more people in the room because then more people mean more money, which is absolutely not even the truth. I have 171,000 people following me over the last 12 years, and my engagement is less than it's been of all time, and I make way more money now, and it's the weirdest thing. I remember getting engagement of like 50,000 people liking something of mine and making $3,000 months, and I'm getting 200 200 views on something and I'm making, anywhere from, 25 to 50 grand months. Like, what? It doesn't make sense. So I just want to put it out there that whatever you might be believing, really look into them, because they might not be worth believing in. They might be limiting you and where you believe you're meant to be. Those ideas of me thinking I needed more followers in order to get more people to get on my wait list, in order to do the thing, in order to make more money, didn't mean shit. It wasn't actually that. So more people doesn't mean more money. And so I want to really clean that aspect up for you and really clear that up for you, because I don't even look at my numbers and analytics anymore, because I just look at the energy I'm putting out and ask myself the question, is this something that's going to truly help my community in a way that really up levels their whole mindset? And if it helps one person, then I've done my job. Last night I was on a date with someone, and someone came up to me and was like, "Are you the Art of Reese? Oh my God, I watched this last thing from you. Thank you so much. You're so inspiring. You're the reason why I did the thing I'm doing. And now I'm a new artist of this, and that." And I was like, holy shit, it's working. Like, that's the fucking point for me. Who cares about how many people follow me? Who cares? If there's so many people like that guy last night, then I'm great. I don't need 171,000 people following to make good money. Shit. With the engagement that I got these days, it looks like I only have like 3,000 people following me. But at the end of the day, those are 3,000 soulmate clients. And 3,000 people that are willing to pay me $3,000 a day to get tattooed by me, or however much money for my coaching and mentoring, then I'm good. And I'm happy with that. I'd rather have that than the latter, or than the former, I'm sorry. So let's really just erase that part of what we believe, what our limiting beliefs are that may be stopping us, okay? So when it comes to your pricing strategies, I do want to say there are two ways of pricing. Obviously, there's objectively, and then there's energetically, okay? There's always energetics. Baby, I'm spiritual. Okay, you wouldn't be here if you weren't in the spiritual realm. If you weren't here to bust old paradigms. If you weren't here to be a new earth leader, okay? If you weren't a way shower, a shame stopper, energetic being, knowing that you are more energy than matter, you wouldn't be here, okay? Just giving you a little yum-tastic, I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, pricing strategies objectively. So objective questions are quite obvious. So when you're pricing, you cleaned up your energy, you're getting into a room with people that are fucking limitless. Let's ask ourselves the questions, right? Objective questions are an obvious must. We want to talk about the experience, and I'm not talking about the amount of time you've been tattooing. I'm talking about the experience you provide for your clients, okay? That's the kind of experience I'm talking about. The time spent on the tattoo or the design or whatever else, and your overall branding do come into play when it comes to pricing. Now, the reason why I say branding is because branding overall will set the tone. What is your message and movement? And are you clear on these things? Are you clear in what the fuck you're here to do? Are you clear on your style? Are you clear, on who you are? These things are not only objectives, but they're also energetic. It's huge on energetic. All of this plays on energy. All of it does. We are more energy than matter. We are more wave than particle. Okay, that is just science. That's a fact. I'm not just jerking your chain around here because I'm spiritual. No, that's an actual fact. That's science. The only reason why it looks like I am a tangible material being is because the particles are so close together, energetically vibrating so close together, that I am an actual object. So we won't get into science, quantum physics, and all that other kind of stuff, because that shit's like, oh, that's my jam. Anyway, So when I think about the overall brand, we do got to get really clear on who the fuck we are, what the fuck we do, and how the fuck we share it with the world. Those things are really important to me, okay? And it really helps in your business. Again, Inspired Academy, I teach you all this. We go down deep. Anyway, okay, so for the artwork, here are some questions I want you to ask yourself. Is my art style consistent? Do you know what style you're doing? Do you niche down? Please listen to my last podcast, 6 tattoo business tips I wish I had when I first started my career. The first episode talks about the reason why we niche and the energetics around niching. So we got to get really clear on the niching aspect of what you do as artwork. You can do all the styles. It just depends on the reasons why, okay? Am I sharing what I do, artworks, tattoos, all this other stuff, consistently enough that people want to follow me to watch more? The best compliment I get in the DMs, in the comments, is when people are like, I love seeing your growth. That is the soulmate person that you want following you. They want to be a part of your journey. Are you sharing that enough, or are you just sharing tattoos? Now, there is nothing wrong with just sharing tattoos, but the moment people start sharing the artist behind the machine is the moment people get more invested. And that's a fact. I see it all the time, even with the big kahunas. Some of my favorite artists have now really started showing up in a vulnerable, personable way, and they are attracting so many other types of people because all they want is to know them a little bit more. And that's the thing with social media. It's like you have so much power to put out some good fucking real, raw energy. And so what are you going to do with that fucking power? It's like, great power comes great responsibility, as Spider-Man's uncle said. So, nerd here. So we've got to really just think about it in that way. Are you sharing it enough that people are excited to see what you do next? Is the experience you provide for your client one you both will never forget? Not just them, but you both. Did that person leave feeling fucking empowered? Do they feel better about themselves after? That is the kind of vibe you want to offer. You do not have to be an experienced tattooer. You can even be in the first year and still doing shaky ass lines, and it happens, all right? Let's not play that we don't accidentally make accidents. We're fucking human. Let's just be real about this, okay? Even me, I just know how to mask them best, That's when you get really good, is when you're like, happy accident, they'll never know about. Okay, it's a real thing. Let's not play like we're perfect, okay? So if you're doing shaky ass lines in the beginning, but you gave them the most empowered fucking experience of their lives, they're gonna be stoked. They're going to come back, and they're going to want to see the journey on their own body. I have people that still come from year one. I have a whole family of the man that I tattooed, my very first tattoo, and they are rooting for me every day. They root for me all the time. They've come and got tattooed with me over the years. The whole family has. So sweet. And so it's like, and they've been following me for almost 12 years. Like, that's crazy. They were following me before I even started tattooing. And so they're like, to see you now, we feel so blessed to know you. We feel so stoked that we were the first ones to get tattooed by you. Now, it's like we have celebrity art. And even though the artwork isn't all that great on their bodies, and of course I'm very judgmental about my old artwork, because we're always trying to up level in this industry, or in any industry really. It's like, God, like, yes, they left empowered. I gave them an experience they will never forget, and they don't, and they remind me of how great that experience was even to this day. So that's how you want people to leave. And you always want to make sure on the side note that even though it might be your 100th, 200th, 1000th tattoo, it's still their first time, or second, or third, or fourth. They haven't gone through 1,000 tattoo sessions like you have. And yes, we all have days, energy, and this kind of thing. That's why you take the mornings for yourself or the evenings for yourself. This is why it's so important for self-care. And self-care is like my exercise, meditation in the mornings, the times I don't look at social media. I don't look at social media until like 8:30, and I'm up at 4:30. That 4:30 to 8:30 is Reese time. I love humans, but I gotta get to the point to where I fucking love humans. And that means exercise, meditation, nice showers, walk on the beach. And that's the reason why I wake up so early, is because I'm like, no, in order for me to feel so good that I can give my client the best fucking experience that I can give them, fuck yeah, I'm gonna wake up at 4:30 in the fucking morning, because I love my job so much and I love me so much. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna show up every day on social media to make sure that I'm offering my community the best fucking shit and experience that they can ever have. You feel the passion. You feel it. If you're watching me on my YouTube, I'm being a weirdo. So you just gotta feel the vibe. If you're offering that energy, and I've had my off days, but I can guarantee you that I've offered this style of energy pretty much every single time, especially in the last 3 years of my tattoo career. Every single time. My lifestyle is a huge factor in how my business runs. If my lifestyle is off, then my business will be off. If I'm drinking every night, if I'm watching too much TV, if I am checking social media the moment I wake up, if I'm checking social media by the nighttime before I even go to sleep, it's the last thing I look at. These are all the things that perpetuate a lifestyle. And if that lifestyle is hindering you, making you cranky, all of these things, not getting enough sleep, you're not getting good sleep, whatever, this is what's going to perpetuate the energy of your day and the energy that you give to your clients. And so for me, it is really important that I always give 110%, because I am a healer, and people come to me to turn their pain, their inner pain, into power through the medicine of tattooing. I get more people coming to me asking me, I want to feel like this because I went through this and I want to feel like this. Can you create that? It's no longer, hey, can you give me a Pinterest tattoo or whatever. No. They give me full creative freedom and tell me, I want to feel like an empowered, beautiful, imperfectly perfect warrior woman and some flowers. You get to choose whatever that might mean. Oh, and honey, I can channel that shit so easy because I can feel what it is that they want. Because I am so open. My energy, I'm so empathic, and even more so every single day, the more work I do on myself, the more I open myself up, the more I crack my heart wide open to allow space for people to come into my world. And now I only get people that want tattoos that are healing for them. And I love that, and I want to be 110% there. And so how can I show up for my people even when it's an off day? This means a lot to them. They come out from all over the world to come get tattooed by me. And of course I'm going to show up 110%. Okay? And I want to give them an experience they'll never forget. Okay, so that's the artwork and the experience questions. So answer those questions. Time spent. Now here we're going to get into time spent on the objective questions you should be asking yourself for your pricing strategy. How many hours do I typically spend on a design or tattoo overall? This, of course, is going to dictate some of what you're going to charge. You are going to look at it, okay, how much time did I spend on this design, and are typically spent on a design, and how much time do I normally spend? So me, I can take anywhere from like 3 hours on a tattoo design, which is short, to 8 hours on a tattoo design, which is long. Okay, and then sometimes it'll roll over into other days. I like to start my designs much earlier. So I like to just start my designs maybe even 5 days prior, just to like wrap my head around it, and then work on it throughout the days, and then really like full send on like the second to last day before the tattoo. So it's like, that's how I like to work, because I like to wrap my mind around it, especially when it comes from someone that's really like looking to heal something, heal inner wounds, feminine embodiment, feminine empowerment, male empowerment. I won't forget my men. I tattoo like half and half, 50% men, 50% women. And so, and they're all looking for for a vibe. They're looking for a fucking feeling. That's all we're all looking for. When we think about wanting money, we're searching for a feeling of safety, right? We want liberation. That's the feeling we want to feel. If I want to feel that, I can actually perpetuate that feeling within me and actually draw more of it to me. And so when I can perpetuate the feeling, own my worthiness, surround myself with people that have limitless potential, I am going to up level my money in quantum speed. Okay, so time spent. How many hours do you typically spend on a tattoo and the design? And then let's talk about your overall brand. Am I showing up online in an authentic way that attracts people who want to come along for my artistic journey, into artistic and personal journey? Now, we kind of went over this above when it came to your artwork and the experience you provide. But in the overall brand, again, it's like, do they want to come along on the personal journey and the artistic journey as well? It's a personal thing. You are an entrepreneur. You are the brand, not your tattoos, because your tattoo style will change and your tattoo technicalities will change over the years. So if someone's following you for the tattoo you did 3 years ago and then they're like, oh, fuck that, that's a different tattoo than they were doing 3 years ago, that's not a sustainable brand. You are the brand, okay? Am I the embodiment of my brand message and movement, aka do I love what I do? And can people feel that? Obviously, as you are taking in the energy of this podcast right here, you can feel my motherfucking energy and know that I am obsessed. I am obsessed with my mission, message, and movement. I am obsessed with the medicine of healing through tattooing and through coaching and mentoring. I love seeing people thrive, whether that be, hey, I'm wearing a new tattoo that makes me feel like a fucking powerful human being, or hey, I feel like I can have a thriving, holistic, and balanced business that is amazing. So those two things, that's it. I'm very clear on what the fuck I want. I'm very clear on what it is I want to make and what I desire to make. I'm very clear on all of these things, and it comes from a place of love, genuine love and service. So can we feel that when you talk about it? Someone asks you in a coffee shop and they're like, talking about your tattoos. And even though you get this all the time, someone's looking at your tattoos like, oh my God, your neck tattoo is so beautiful. Oh, you're a tattoo artist. Oh my God, I've always wanted this tattoo, but And yes, it can be annoying sometimes. Of course it is. Of course it can be annoying sometimes. But am I going to take it like that? Am I going to treat this person any differently because I might be annoyed? Hey, I can be really quick and be so sweet and be like, hey, I got to get somewhere, but here's my card. Oh my God, your idea is amazing. And if it's not up my wheelhouse, if it's not in my style, I can point you in the right direction. I am happy to do that for people. Why? Because I'm a human. Is that not the right answer? I'm kind because I'm fucking human. It's human nature. It's not human nature to be a dick. That takes work. So, yeah, I'm nice. That's what I do. If I got somewhere to be, I'm not going to take, if I'm cranky, let's see, my dog ate my underwear, which honestly, I've tried recording this twice. My dog literally was eating the underwear in the frame and I was like, oh my God, and then came back on here and acted like let that energy bother me through this podcast. Like, no, I'm not going to do that to you guys. I'm not going to do that to some stranger on the street because, again, like I said in the beginning, just because it's your 1,000th tattoo or just because it's your 10 millionth conversation about the same thing that people do, and we all see the memes about it online when people do this, how can I switch it up? How can I switch up my energetic mindset? This is called emotional mastery. This is called emotional intelligence. And when we can get emotionally intelligent, again, this is changing the energy around all of the things in your life, your money, your success, your confidence. This is quantum leaping your business, okay? So that's what we want to be like at all times. We have our off moments. Let's honor our off moments, but we don't need to take our off moments on people. That we don't need to put that on them. We don't need to dump on them our emotional garbage. That's not on us. And if they're doing it to us, we can literally put up a boundary and be like, skirt, not for me. Hey, I'm sorry that you're having a bumming day. You have a good day. Okay, bye. Okay, So now let's get into pricing strategics around energetics. Okay, so worthiness is a feeling that we get to choose. Worthiness is a feeling that we get to choose. When we're pricing in our energetics, we get to choose whether we are worthy or not. But I'm going to let you know right now, you are already worthy, whether you believe it or not. You are innately worthy. You were born worthy. All of the emotional baggage, the beliefs, the foundations, family beliefs, teacher beliefs, friend beliefs, all of these things that stack up on top of you and make you forget about your wholeness and who the fuck you are is what tells you that you aren't worthy. So that's all the baggage that we get to lift up off of ourselves, clean up that gunk out of that pipeline, and remember that we are worthy. But you just need to remind yourself of that fact through your everyday decisions and choices. Okay, so of course, we're always going to ask ourselves, does it feel good to charge this price? Why or why not? And now when I say feel good, I mean real. Does that feel really good? Sometimes when people think, oh yeah, no, that feels good, that feels right, that oftentimes it means that they feel comfortable. Oftentimes it's like, no, that feels comfortable. So I'm talking about, no, $300 feels really good, but it feels fucking edgy and I'm a little nervous. That's the kind of stoke you should have. Not, oh fuck, no. I like, if I would have went from $275 to $500 an hour, I think that would have like dysregulated my nervous system. And we don't want to dysregulate too much. We don't want to dysregulate so much. And, you know, even though I could do that, and I'm not saying I can't, I could go from $300 to $600 an hour if I wanted to. And I just want to stay at a point in my body where I am completely regulated whenever I make decisions. And if it dysregulates my nervous system so much so that it causes me to have anxiety and an ego-centric story-creating thought process where I'm thinking of how all the things and how it's not going to work and then perpetuate a reality to validate that thought process, then I'm not going to do it. So $275 to $300 felt really edgy for me because it was going into a psychological interesting thing. Like the reason why a lot of like marketers in the day, they're like, oh, do it at $299.99. So it doesn't feel like $300, even though with tax it's going to be like $323. You know, so it's like they just want there is a psychology around it. So for me, I had that belief of the psychology around it. So by going into the threes, I was like, oh, this is really edgy for me. And now that I have proved through going through it, and although I didn't receive as many emails as I normally do, and it took us maybe a little bit longer, in the hours to get everybody good, I tattooed the most amazing tattoos anyway. Everybody paid the price that we wanted to pay. And it didn't matter that I got less emails because they were all quality ones that I did end up getting. And so it actually ended up taking way less time for my assistant to get through them. And so it was so many things that I was like, oh, this could not work. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't, oh, well, let's just try. It's edgy. It feels good. This is the amount of money I desire to make. And the only way I can do that at the amount of days that I want to work so that I could put all of my energy into something else, which is my coaching business, because I tattoo 3 days a week in order to put my coaching business on all the other days that I'm not tattooing. How can I make this all work? How can I balance this all out so I still have so much time for me, so much time for family, and so much time for my coaching business, and so much time for my tattooing? Like, I get to do all of these things. I get to have fun and create and design the business that I've always wanted, and I get to create, move, shift, and from there. And so I was thinking about all of these things. So I did something that felt edgy, but it felt good. So does it feel good and feel edgy at the same time, but like in a good way? Like you're like, oh, fuck. I'm gonna pee my pants. Like that kind of edgy. So we want to understand the difference between what feels good and what feels comfortable. Okay. Next question would be, what do I believe I'm actually worthy of? And is this answer based on what people have told me what my work is worth? So this is where we got to get really clear. This is where we clean up our energy. We ask this question and we put our focus on this question. And you know what? You know the answer. You deep down know the answer to this question on what you believe you're worth, and be really honest with yourself. If you're like, fuck, I don't think super highly of myself, and everybody in my shop only charges this, and I work in a really small town, and I haven't worked all week, and all of these things are perpetuating the validation of the belief that you have and creating the reality of that belief. And further, grounding you into that belief that, yeah, this is as much as my worth and yada, yada, yada. And so this is where we get to clean it up. Yes, this is all the things I think about myself, but how do I want to feel? What is it that I really want to? I want to feel fucking abundant. I want to feel wealthy. I want to feel worthy. I want to feel fucking amazing. How can I do that now? That's a whole other podcast for another day. I do have another shameless plug. I do have the ultimate money-making program for creatives and tattoo artists called Booked Out. It's not only going to give you all the strategies on how I book out, everything, but it's also all of the energetics around money. We are doing all things money in this program, and I'm so excited to offer it because it's going to be an amazing program, and I'm so excited for it. I'm pretty sure that this is the last week to get it, so you're going to want to be in on it. And so it's like we do want to clean up the energy around it. So ask yourself those two questions. What is the amount of money that you desire to make monthly, yearly, and can you break that down? And so when we think about what feels good to charge, what do I charge and does that feel good to me? If it doesn't feel good to me, okay, what do I believe I'm worthy of? Let me clean up this energy around here. Okay, so now what do I really want to make? Like, what's like the fucking money? What's like the overall grand scheme of things about how much money I want to make, and how much money do I want to make next year, and how much money would I like to make in the next 6 months? And can we break it down? Because when you can kind of when you know your numbers, I always say know thy numbers, because it's like, then we can get really clear. Again, here's this word in clarity. We get really clear on what it is that you need to do. And then if you're like, wow, I've got to work 12-hour days in order to do this at the amount of money that I'm making now. Whoa, don't want to do that. So how can I clean this up? And then it actually helps you in your confidence and worthiness to be like, well, this is what I really desire, and I'm going to do this. And in order for me to feel really good about it, I'll tell my current clients ahead of time, telling them like, hey, like, if we have ongoing projects, make sure you get in on these books. Otherwise, the price will go up the next time, da-da-da-da. And you're just really clean and clear and honest with them. Like, whenever I raise my prices, I'm like, hey, guys, like, I just want to say that I'm so fucking excited to be sharing this with you. And thank you so much for following me on this journey and all of the things. And, I raised my prices, yeah, but I'm also giving away like 4 or 5 tattoos this year. Huge tattoo giveaways, because I was like, fuck, I feel so abundant that here I go. So I'm offering opportunities for all of these people. And I also lower my prices, especially when I go and travel places. Like if I'm going to Europe and I'm like, well, let me lower some of my prices because I don't go there often. And this is quote unquote industry norm around there. And I'll do this and that. And it's like, oh my gosh, and like I'm always fluctuating with this. And this is the best part. You could just have fun with it. And then when you're at home, if you want to, you're like, hey guys, yes, I'm raising my prices, but I'm also giving away a lot of really cool stuff. And I just want you to know that I love you and thank you and blah, 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 So get really clear on your money. Get really clear on how it could work. We could always do the strategic way. And then what do? We release it. We release it out to the universe. Let the universe help you. Let the universe guide you. You don't have to do this on your own. When I stopped doing it on my own, it went from 150K years to 300K years. And then I went from 300K a year to 600K a year. I had made $575,000 last year. And the year before, I made 30 something. Great money both years. No, I'm not mad at either one. But holy shit, I almost doubled the amount of money I made. And it's the same amount of time. You see what I'm saying? Because last year I got into a room with people with limitless potential. I did things that felt good but felt edgy. I walked myself through fear, even when things got hard, even when things weren't quote unquote as good if you were going to compare yourself to yourself. We got to clean up the energy, because that energy is what's going to attract what it is you believe into your reality. Your thoughts create your reality. Your personality creates your reality because your personality is your personal reality, as Dr. Joe Dispenza says all the time. It's like your personality are the thoughts and the feelings that you have, which create, and over time, as you habitually create the same thoughts and same feelings and you create the same patterns, that creates your personality. So that's just who you are now. And then all of these beliefs, especially after 35, where it really gets hard to start changing things around back in there. I'm 35. And you got to get really, you got to work pretty hard in order to remove old foundations and set new foundations. It's like I got to tear this whole house down that I've been living in for 35 years, and now I got to rebuild. I'm tired. I don't want to rebuild. That's hard. But I'm going to fucking do it. Why? Because I literally just showed myself by doing some of it, and I'm just touching the surface, baby. Just touching the surface. There are some dreams that I've been having for years that I was like, oh, those are pipe dreams. Those are just things I love saying, but I don't ever really believe that they can happen. And now I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, that's happening. That seed was planted in my mind for a fucking reason. Your desires are there because they desire you too, baby. And now I'm already on the path to creating those crazy dreams that I have, which you'll find out real soon what they are. And so this is why it's like, holy shit, up level. Energy is it plays such a huge factor into your business. Okay. And so lastly, question, if I don't already, what is it I think I need to do in order to feel good about that daily price? Again, this is cleaning up your energy, because if my daily price right now is $50 an hour and I've got to work, 10 hours a day in order for me to make $3,000 a month, that sounds awful. So maybe I charge $100 an hour. Ooh, that feels scary. That's edgy. Right? Like if you were at 150 and you're like, I'm going to go to 175, that feels edgy. Or I'm even going to go to 200. Ooh, that feels even, that activates you in some way, but it feels kind of good and you're excited about it. That's a real feeling. And if you don't feel excited about it, then ask yourself why. And then how? Sometimes it is in the doing that allows us to reach an extensive experience to charge more. So a lot of times, in order for me, the reason why I went from paying a $299 course to a $12,000 3-month one-on-one to a $30,000 6-month, group coaching program was because I wanted to be in a room, but also learn from people that I knew had the experience because they've already gotten themselves there. And so sometimes we do need to get into, investing in that program, investing in that mentor, going and buying that seminar, going to the seminar, these kinds of things in order to elevate ourselves, because elevating your confidence can be through education. And when we elevate our confidence through education, what we learn from education, we put into play, we put into action. And then, obviously we get a huge return on investment. It's like taking a tattoo seminar where you actually get to tattoo with the mentor of whom you decided to do the seminar with. And yeah, that seminar cost you $5,000, but hey, you took one thing away that changed your entire tattoo game. And now you feel very confident in charging something more than what you were charging, because your heels are better, your tattoo techniques are better, your application's better, you're more confident because someone sat over you and was like, yeah, do this, this, and this instead of this, this, and that. And you're like, oh my God, that's all I needed. That was worth every fucking penny of that $5,000. One takeaway for me, 30 grand was already worth it just by sending the money, because it activated me so much, but I believed that I knew it was coming back to me, and baby, it did. It did tenfold. I made almost double the amount of money of last year, and I spent 100 grand in coaching. The year before, $299. So this was the difference that made the difference. Yeah, I spent 100 grand, or I think it was like 90 grand in coaching. And doubled my income. I could only imagine, but it felt so good to me too. It's not like you just go spend money so you think you can make more money. It's not like that. It's like it has to feel really good and energetically. It has to activate you in some way. It has to feel edgy. There has to be a little scintillating of fear, because if there is no fear, that means you're still in the comfortable. That means you're not doing anything different. Fear is doing something in the unknown. That's why we're afraid of doing it, because we're not comfortable doing it. So it has to have a little bit of fear in it. And then you do the thing and believe that it already has been valuable to you without even actually doing anything within it. So it's like, I don't have to be on the Voxer every single day, a messaging system with my coaches. I don't need to be watching all their programs, even though I get all of them. I don't need to watch all of them all the time. I don't need to be asking questions every single day. Just knowing that they're there already elevates me. Just being able to be in the room, have a seat at the table already elevates me, already made it worth it to me. But it has to feel worth it to you. So it's not just investing in the program. It's like, yes, no, I've always wanted to learn from this person. I'm going to spend $5,000 to go tattoo on fake skins, have this person watch over me in a classroom filled with other people that kind of scare me because they're really good. And they're all tattooing and they're all here for the same reason. And I'm going to show up, do my best, take in what I can. And if I learn one fucking thing, it'll be all worth it at the end of the day. Or you could go beyond that and do something like I did and say it's already worth it before I even got there, because I've decided it was worth it. And that's energetic shifts. That's a change in the patterns that you've created just by pressing the pay now button, just by sending it. You're like, oh, fuck, I've already elevated my entire business because I decided to take this business course. Hint, hint. Okay. Lastly, all I want to do, gosh, we're already an hour over. Okay, so all I want you to do at this point is to now, once you've done it, you've answered all the questions, you've done the work, you're like, holy shit, this is a lot. I want you to release all the expectations of getting it wrong, baby, because you're not going to get it wrong. There's no getting it wrong. There's no right or wrong answer. You can never do it wrong. You can never do it wrong. I think the only thing you could do wrong is by not ever taking any action. That's the only thing I could say that's doing something wrong, is by wanting to take action and not doing it because of fear. This is about stepping into your worthy, wealthy creative. It's about stepping into the worthy, wealthy creative that you are. You get to have fun with this. You get to go up. You can come down. You can get free tattoos. You can travel the world and charge more. I charge a lot more when it comes to the States. Are you kidding me? I charge more than $300. I charge like $350 an hour when I go travel in the States, because I want my costs for my travel and all this stuff. And you know what? All of my travel books, when my travel books opened and they launched, boom, done within a couple of hours. They were fully filled. What was that like? I think I had 6 days. That was a $3,000 day. I made $3,000 in a couple of hours because of all the deposits that I made and when I opened up my books for travel. So it's just an energetic thing. Like, I charge more there, but then when I go to Europe, I'm like, oh, I'm going to charge a little bit less. I don't know Europe that much. And when I get there and I realize, oh, wow, I could actually charge the same or more. I didn't realize I'm big in Europe, or I didn't realize I'd have clientele in Europe because people are so eager to follow me on my journey. Whoa, what a concept. Crazy. How clear have I gotten in my own branding? Wow, I can charge whatever it is I want. Sometimes I charge a little less because I'm like, hey, I'm going to a place where, economically, they don't make that much money as a country. So why not? Fuck it. I get to do whatever I want. I do whatever I want. It feels fucking good. I'm going to do it. I'm going to give away this free tattoo. Yes, I'm going to, all expense paid, fly you out, put you up at a nice hotel, go out to dinner with you, give you a tattoo of your dreams, sit for 2 days for free. I'm going to do it all. Yes, I'm doing that. That's a real thing. I am doing that. I'm actually doing that this year. Why not? That's the fun part about it. We get to live. We get to choose what we want to do in this business. It is your art. Your business is your art. You get to do it however you see fit. The only thing that I encourage you to do is really get cleaned up in the energy if you aren't already on that journey. Clean up the energy around your money, your confidence, your success, and up level, quantum leap from there. It does not need to take you 5 years to get to where you want to go. You can do it in less than that time. I believe it with my whole heart and soul because I'm literally walking and talking and seeing it in my own life. 11 years it took me to get to this point. But when I think of last year to this year and this year, or the year before to the year to last year, it's like the difference is plain and it's there for me to see. The evidence is there, and I keep creating more and more evidence. The more I clean up my energy, the more I heal myself, the more I really go within, the more time I take for me, the more I follow my joy, the more I walk myself through fear, the edginess, the crunchiness of life, the more I turn all these old patterning, these old beliefs, these old thoughts, and recreate and reprogram, and take the time to do this because it is a lot of fucking hard work. The more I do it, the more I see evidence in my reality. And so this is the reason why it's simple. It's not easy, but this is the way we go about pricing our tattoos. So I hope that this episode was really helpful for you. I hope that you go out there and really think about what it is you're pricing and if it does feel good. And if it doesn't, go from there. And if it does, fuck yeah, dude, that's awesome. You know, what's next? What's the exciting new thing do you desire? I love that for you. I love you guys. Thank you so much. And I'll see you in the next episode.